Hello everybody and welcome to another Wolcen video, this time for patch 1150. The game developers have added a few things to do and I want to talk about what these things are, how they really work and my personal opinion, what I think about the new update. So please stay tuned, we will start right away. Before we jump into the game, let's have a quick look at the patch notes. And in case you are interested in Wolcen, you can pick it up currently for around 20 bucks, so that's a fair offer in case you did not pick it up yet. The major thing about the patch 1150 is the Wartable change and its modes, and we will talk about them in a second when we are in game. But for now I want to skip that and just have a quick look what else is included in this patch. We have two new monster types, the Mystagogue and an Architect. You can see a little showcase of them here. We also have a new armor set, which looks pretty decent. In case you want to look fancy when you kill monsters, you can do that there. The new environment, we have a little map update, so we see something different, a different scenery alongside all the others we already have in game. So that's a nice little add-on here. And two of our skills can be converted into different damage types. Blade Storm, for instance, can now be converted into shadow damage, and the Wrath of Babter can now be converted into rend damage. Alongside these little add-ons, we have a couple of bug fixes, and I would say overall, yeah, we have two new monsters, a new environment and a new armor. That's not a big deal. Of course, this won't set our pants on fire, but I think it's a nice little add-on. If they keep doing that little by little, we have a little bit more variety of what we see. So that's fine, so please keep that up. But now, let's talk about the kicker, the Wartable. Here we are in game and we will check out the Wartable immediately. So what I really like about the Wartable is the new design. The UI is really nicely executed, so thumbs up for that, little devs, well done. Alright, we have four different icons or different elements we can click on. Three of them are operations, and I will talk about the operations in a second. And always in the top left corner we have this Consumeables ship. Now, if you click on this consumable ship, you will see it will pop up all the different treasure maps you have in your chest, as well as your incenses. So you can start the treasure maps or use the treasure maps directly from this consumables ship. Now, what I don't understand is if they implemented that, it's a really nice way to just have an overview of what you have. You click on it and then you can execute it. That's all good and fair. But for instance, I have 4 Wealth Omen maps displayed here, so I can do 4 Wealth Omen missions in this yellow color. When I check out my stash, I see all the maps cluttered around in the stash, and here are the 4 Wealth Omen maps. Why? The Wartable is able to stack all those maps, and here I have them like individually. Doesn't make sense, since I have to transport them to some place or use them from the inventory. There's nothing I can do, so why they are blocking space in my personal chest? Stupid. What I would do, get rid of them completely. I don't need this little icon when I go to the Wartable, and I can execute all of my maps I found within this menu. But that's just me. Now let's talk about the Wartable in more depth. We have in total 7 different operations. 3 operations we had in the past. We had the untainted runs with the Sarizel items, with the special affixes. This was really nice. This was the hardest content available. Then we had the expeditions we can complete, and we had the mandates. All 3 of those are still in the game. As you can see here, here are, for instance, the mandates I can start from the Wartable. Now, in case you want to do an expedition right now because you're in the mood, you don't want to do Onslaught, Cursebreaker or mandates, you can't. In case you want to do a Sarizel item or farm them specifically 10 times in a row because you want to have the items, you can't. Because from the 7 operations available, the Wartable will pick 3 of those randomly and present it to you. In my particular case, I have an Onslaught available. I will talk about what this is later. I have a Cursebreaker and I have a Mandate. So in case I want to run an expedition, tough luck, I can't. If I complete the mandate, I have to be lucky that this table re-rolls and hopefully there will be an expedition. If not, tough luck, I have to complete anything else. And those little chat notifications there are so annoying. That's why did you do that? I'm not interested in the stupid trash talk of those NPCs, and sometimes it just blocks my vision of the thing I want to choose from. So I don't know, look. It's absolutely stupid. It's always the same crap they talk about. Anyhow, let's talk about the items on those different operations. You can see here we have those red diamonds. And according to the description, the number of diamonds represent the threat level. And I think personally that they are also bound on the skulls you can collect. What the skulls are, I will explain in a second. So 2 diamonds, threat level 2 so to say, will give you 6 skulls, and threat level 1 will give you 3 skulls, and surprise surprise, 3 diamonds will give you 9 skulls. So far so good. So the more diamonds you have on an operation, the higher is the threat and the more skulls you can collect. What the difference is between the threat level and the difficulty you choose, I don't know. If there are more special enemies, nobody can tell. Now, the skulls, they represent the difficulty you can select in case you did not reach max level. Unfortunately, I did my character reach the max level, so the skulls, they are no use to me anymore. So in case you did not reach the maximum difficulty, you need to collect those skulls in order to be able to advance to higher difficulties. So that's pretty straightforward. And then you have a little icon of your guaranteed reward by the end when you complete the operation. So while you are running the operation, there will be some item drops. You can still get randomly red items, yellow items, maybe unique items, I don't know. But as a guarantee, you will get an item which is depicted here. And you can see there is one hand, which means this is a one-handed weapon, most probably a pistol. And here we have a selection of two-handed weapons, that's why we have those two little hands. And here we will get an armor. Maybe it is a heavy armor, I don't know if this is just a picture of armor in general, or if this is maybe a heavy armor. Nevertheless, this is what you will get in addition after completing the operation. In case you are interested in an operation, you can modify it to your liking. First and foremost, you can of course select the overall difficulty. This presentation of the difficulty selection has similarities to another action role-playing game from Blizzard. I don't know which one it is. And you have different tiers, and each tier has a range of difficulty you can select. For instance, tier 5 ranges from 130 to 157, while tier 6 ranges from 160 to 187. 187 is the Police Court for Murder, and by the way, a fantastic movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right, I'm crazy. Isn't that what you respect, huh? Loco? Come on, Cesar, if you're gonna be stupid, don't be half-ass stupid. Be all the way stupid. Take the gun, put it to your head, pull the trigger. Do it!
Just random stupid facts you are not interested in. And I always pick the highest difficulty because then I have the chance to get the best items in game. And of course I have stupid notifications from this Eugene. Shut up, you idiot, I'm not interested in your trash talk. Sometimes you have stretched out icons, that's pretty nice. You can see you have a two-handed weapon as a reward. Very nice. With the difficulty out of the way, we can of course implement some area modifiers, and it's the same principle like before the patch, but it's better presented. So you can see here your productivity, your magic find, and your item quantity, not quality, Aaron. Just a joke. So if you select the amount of gold or select the modifier, you can see that these figures will go up, which will result in more and better items. So that's that. Once you're happy with your selection, you accept it, and then you click on Start Operation, and the portal will open up. and you just enter the portal and complete your operation. If you can click on the portal, because I can't, I do not know why, but I cannot enter. Now I can. Good. I will not explain the old mandate. For every new player, it's super simple. You just have a bar, kill all the enemies in this area, then a portal will open up and you can go back to town. In the mission, you have regular item drops, and there are some stairs which will lead you down into other areas where you can sell all your loot, because in each and every basement, so to say, is a trade shrine. That's a very nice add-on they implemented a couple of patches ago. Okay, so that's that. I will quit this operation because we are not interested in old stuff. Let's talk about the new operation types, and I want to start with the Sabotage. I pre-recorded the video in order not to annoy you with unnecessary and long gameplay, so I can jump to the interesting bits of the encounter to make it short and sweet. Just as an info, I have selected some area modifiers, the difficulty, and as you can see, the reward at the end of the operation should be a selection of red belts. So you click on Start Operation, the portal pops up, you enter the portal, and then you enter the space of the encounter. Now the Sabotage space is a tiny room, as you can see here. It has always the same layout. And in the middle there will spawn a big pyramid or a ward stone. And it will shoot at you, and sometimes it's super strong. You can die like me if you're not careful, but overall it's not a big challenge. At some point in the fight, specifically when it reaches 75% of its life bar, it will get impenetrable. So you can damage it and it will spawn a champion, like this one. And you have to defeat this champion, and when you do that, it will remove the immunity shield of the ward stone, so you can damage it again. You repeat this process when the ward stone reaches 50% and 25% of its life bar. So you have to defeat some champions along the way to remove the immunity shield, and then you can damage the ward stone itself, and then you can kill it. You can see it's still impenetrable, and once the champion is done, you can focus the ward stone, and then boom, off you go, mission completed. You can pick up some items in case you are full. You cannot sell any items here, there is no trade shrine, you have to leave items behind. Then you head back to Stormfall and you will see your reward. Of course, the productivity distribution, which we already know. But in addition to that, we have this little objective completed dialogue in which you will get all the currencies and of course the red belt, which was depicted before we started the mission. So what you can do, you can then select any belt of your liking, and that's that. Let's continue with the second new operation, which is called the Cursebreaker. And again, I pre-recorded the video in order to speed things up. On my Wartable right now, it's interesting, I could go for an untainted run, which is pretty cool. And you can see it has 10 skulls with 3 diamonds. It's the hardest content available. And I get special items depicted by this little Sarisel affix symbol, or whatever you want to call it. And I was lucky because the reward of the Cursebreaker is indeed a unique item. The problem is, of course, everybody would go for the unique item, I guess, but in case you want to do a Wrath of Sarisel, then you are torn between 2 different things and you have to decide which one you want to go for. Anyways, so you can prepare the operation as usual, so you can add some more area modifiers, you can select the difficulty, nothing special going on here. The portal opens up and then off we go. Now, what is the big thing about the Cursebreaker? As you can see, I just walked away and the screen gets kind of dark. And now when I hit a specific area, the screen resumes with this regular brightness. And the reason being is that we have this little guy called Achenon, and he has a circle around it. And the game wants you to stay within this circle to protect this little guy, and that's that. Once you leave his circle, or you're not under the influence of this circle, then I'm not exactly sure what happens. You get maybe damage over time, or the enemies deal more damage when you're outside. You have some negative effect when you leave this circle, but I'm not pretty sure what exactly is happening. but that's not very interesting because all you have to do is protect this little guy, and as you can see here on screen, it messes around with this little beacon. And in total we have 4 beacons on the map, so you have to wait until this robot reaches all 4 beacons, fiddle around with it, and then once that's done, then you can complete the mission. It's pretty straightforward, and I have to say a bit boring, because all you do is have to wait until this guy is ready, and then you have to click on him again to make him move, then he is moving, and then that's all you basically do. So we have the benefit of a fast forward. Here the guy is moving again, and as you can see, this is most probably the last beacon, and the robot is fiddling around with the beacon. You have to protect it. It's really super simple, and once that's done, the portal back to Stormfall opens up and you can leave the mission. What is also pretty nice, in this area you have a trade shrine, so you can get rid of all your unwanted items and get some gold. And in case you left some cool items behind while doing the mission, because you are constantly on the move, you could go back and grab all the other items and then head to Stormfall. Okay, so you don't lose anything along the way. I paused it for a second, and indeed after my mission I received this unique ring. It's very nice, so that's basically all the fuss about the Cursebreaker. Next up is the Headhunt, and I really like this mode because it's super quick. All you have to do is kill a specific boss in a very tiny area and off you go. Of course you can select the area modifiers, and I will fast forward it. You enter the portal and there is the boss, and all you have to do, you kill it, boom, job's done. And in my case it was a super easy fight because my build is super strong. In case you're interested in the build, I can link the description, and by the end of the video I will also have a little icon where you can click on it and check out this build, because it's still super easy and cool in patch 1150. And as you can see, the boss is already dead, and you can just ignore the rest and head back to Stormfall, and that's it. And I think the overall fight was maybe under a minute or 2, I don't know. So super easy, super straightforward, no fuss about that at all. The last operation for today is called the Onslaught. And again, we have a pre-recorded video in order to speed things up. And what you do in the Onslaught is pretty darn easy. In this case I chose all the area modifiers because I wanted to have a little challenge, since my build is pretty capable of dealing with anything the game throws at you. Just a little reminder. And once you enter the portal and enter the area where we have to fight, you might think this is very familiar, it looks familiar, because it is the same room as the Sabotage room, just without the ward stone. And what is happening on screen, this is a little wave survival mode, so the game spawns lots and lots of minions at you, elite champions whatsoever, and you have to defeat them wave after wave. And my impression is that the enemies get a little bit stronger after each wave in order to increase the threat and the difficulty a little bit and give you a little bit of a challenge. But once that's done, that's it. Lots of items will drop on the ground, and you have to select carefully, because since you cannot sell your stuff here and there will be a lot of items, you have maybe to leave stuff behind when you head back to Stormfall. Now fast forward, the whole fight is around 3 to 4 minutes. It's not very long, and if you have a good build like mine, you can just stay and sit, do something else. Maybe you watch The Simpsons while you are playing, and then you collect all of your stuff and head back to Stormfall. Well guys, and then that's it. We talked about all the new modes. Now it's time for a little opinion, and then we can wrap up the video. Now, what do I personally think about the update? I mean, it's not the biggest content upgrade, don't get me wrong, it's a nice little distraction. The Wartable UI and the layout, everything is very nicely designed, and I like the 4 new modes in a way that you have a little bit of a bigger variety what you can do. The boss mode, for instance, it's super cool. You just enter, kill the boss, collect your rewards, and off you go. The other mode where you have to deal with the Cursebreaker and follow this robot for 8 to 10 minutes, I don't know, that's a chore, that's not very well designed, maybe you should think about something more interesting. Overall, I think this does not make people want to return to Wolcen for a longer period of time, especially when we have things like Lost Ark around the corner, the West release, everybody is like super hyped up, and I think this will be the biggest ARPG people want to play in the future. In order for Wolcen to attract a bigger player base, or let's say get your fans back into the game, you need to do more than just those little incremental steps to, let's say, slowly updating the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good that you still do stuff and that you're updating the game, but it's just too slow in order to, you know, attract the people. And we talked about lots of things you could do. The crafting system, for instance, it's crap, nobody uses it really, because the outcome is just not predictable and it's just a frustrating experience overall. And then Stormfall the city, yes, you can build a library here and do something there, but personally I don't bond with the city. I don't care if they have a library or not, it doesn't help me in the game. Why can I not go down into Stormfall and buy an apartment, some housing? Maybe I can have a little training puppet to test out my skills, or a workbench, combine this with a new crafting system. I don't know, there are so many things you could do. Or improve the pets. I mean, they don't have an inventory. Or what if the pets can maybe give you little passive bonuses like more ferocity, maybe you can level them up, maybe it's worthwhile to equip them with items, I don't know, which make them stronger or make them get involved into the fight itself, I don't know. Or maybe I'm expecting too much from the Wolcen studios. I mean, by the end of the day, they are quite small and we live in difficult times, so they struggle as well. That's not an excuse in favor of the studio. I mean, the content they deliver, it's just too little and too slow in order to attract a large player base. But on the other hand, we as players, we would like to have 5 GB content patches every week. But it's a difficult topic. Nevertheless, I will continue to feature Wolcen, and once there is cool new stuff available, I will upload new videos. So that's that. I will quit for today. Have a nice one. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you in a bit.